the catering hasn't misled me. So if we start with just a few questions.
So has it been postulated that there were people who were bilingual, like between what the Romans were speaking and what the people of India were speaking? Seeing as how if they had built an amphitheater, they had to have either gone to Rome or it had been described to them in their own language.
Yeah, definitely we have addressed this problem, but the answer is difficult to tell you, in the sense that it's difficult to say, because basic question is what was the means of communication between the thousands of Roman traders or even their representatives who came to India and the Indians. Indians would definitely not have known Greek or Latin. Even now in India, hardly anyone knows Latin. And the Romans could not have learned Tamil, which was the dominant language of South India at that time. Even now it's a major language in India. So how did they communicate with each other has been repeatedly asked. We have no concrete answer. People just putting their own views. They could not understand each other, therefore they used sign language or hand gestures. But that's all our imagination. We do not know how they communicated, but they should have communicated if they have been trading together for 600 years. Regarding your other thing, basic thing, all the Roman things came to India because we believe the Romans came in large numbers and many of them settled in India. We have even identified Roman colonies in India, of which the final site I showed you, Arikamedu, we believe housed a Roman colony, in which we have even seen in one part of the excavated site certain rarer types of Roman pottery, which we believe was not items of export but as personal belongings of the Romans who lived there. So the Romans came and lived here, and the Roman artists and traders and architects, they taught their skills to the Indians. The Indians even learned from the Romans the coin making technique. Even the die striking of the coin was not known in India till the Romans came, and the Romans not only brought the coins, they taught the Indians how to produce similar coins. So there were colonies of Roman artists and artisans living in different parts of South India. Again, to teach the skill, how they communicated is still uncertain. Indians never went to Rome, that's what we presume, but we may be proved wrong by future research.
I was wondering, have you found any sorts of like Roman style roads in India near the trade routes?
Roads?
Yeah.
No, not exactly, but the reason is not that it may not have existed or wouldn't exist. Our archaeology excavations are mostly vertical digs. I hope you got what I mean. We dig deep into something like a shaft or a tunnel. We rarely do horizontal excavations uncovering a large area, except in one or two sites shown in this route to you. And in those sites we have not got anything substantial regarding the layout of roads and such things. But from literature and other evidence, we know in India there was excellent roadway system. But these sites have not yielded anything substantial or anything to link it with the Roman pattern. The reason more being that our archaeology digs are not enough quantitatively and are also not of the type required to uncover such features. So as it is, it's no, but the blame lies with the archaeology in India and not that there nothing would have existed. Thank you.
Have there been any Roman finds in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, very much. Most of them are coins, which I would deal in little greater detail tomorrow. We have archaeological sites in Sri Lanka also. In fact, it is a real Roman trade. People tell me I must start from Puteoli in Italy and end it in Cambodia. It should go from Puteoli, we must travel to Africa, then to South India and Sri Lanka, and then Southeast Asia. I have just given the full details of the India part of it. But in Sri Lanka, you have lesser number of sites, but you do have several major sites like Sigiriya, Anuradhapura and other places where Roman material, including amphora jars, have been found similar to those in India. They also produced Roman pottery imitation ones, like India. And most of the finds in Sri Lanka are much later than those found in India. But we have found quite a lot in Sri Lanka also. After Sri Lanka also we have found further east, but it reduces dramatically quantitatively. In Cambodia, I know of only 4 Roman coins correctly identified, discovered in a major archaeological site of that period. So there are stray finds in Southeast Asia, but Sri Lanka definitely has thousands of finds.
Thank you.
Well, I think perhaps one more question, and then we can go explore what might await us in the hallway.
Hi, I'm just curious, like you guys were talking about, like, I have 2 questions actually. You were talking about the Buddhist monasteries and stuff like that, but did you ever look at like Central Asian art or something like that in your research? And then also in turn, I've read actually references to like embassies from India arriving in Rome, or like there being some like Indian religion temple thingy-majiggy in Alexandria. Did you ever like look into that in your research?
Yeah, to an extent, yes. We have Latin references, there are many, which I didn't quote here, which mention embassies sent from the Indian kings to Rome, and similarly embassies sent by many Roman emperors, like I would mention 2-3 names which I'm definitely sure: Trajan and Antoninus Pius and even Marcus Aurelius. These Roman emperors, among several others, sent embassies to South Indian kings, and many South Indian kings sent embassies to Rome, including one during the time of Augustus. And the literature even mentions when the embassies were sent, what gifts were sent along with that. And there is a reference of an Indian king once sending an elephant to a Roman emperor. And so exchange of embassies was common on both sides, from both sides throughout the period of trade. And regarding other aspects of influence, the research has not been much. We are just quoting here and there. As I told you, the cultural aspect there is no study. At least trade, we have some studies. And there is a reference to, in the Greek sources, of a temple for Augustus in Kerala. And even the village name is mentioned, but the village has been identified, but today there is no trace of the temple. And so there are stray references, but no concrete study, but we do have it.
Well, thank you. I'm going to ask the audience to join with me in thanking you again for such a wonderful. And there's another one tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the adjoining rooms in